Sigmund Freud was known as the father of psychoanalysis. He was born in the Czech Republic on May 6, 1856. However, he destroyed all of his documentation and papers, so not much is known about his early years. However, we do know that he lived in Australia and he was raised Jewish, but he eventually became an atheist. He was influenced by Charles Darwin, more specifically his book, The Origin of Species, which was written in 1859, and A Study of Hysterics by Jean Martin Charcot. He developed free association, and this was based on the method of his colleague, which was hypnosis. He used free association to figure out his patients' problems, and once these problems came to light, his patients could work on them. The reason why his patients didn't know what their problems were before was because it was in their subconscious and they couldn't articulate them. So he used free association to find out what their problems were, and then once he knew what they were, he could help them work on them. He had some theories. One was the psychosexual stage theory, which is basically sex drive is the most important motivating force. This one isn't really school appropriate, so I can't explain it too much. But the other theory is the personality theory, which is basically three parts of the human personality. There's the id, the ego, and the superego. And the id deals with like your basic needs. So this is instant gratification. It's basically if you want something, you go after it without really thinking it through. And if your needs are not met, then you can become tense or anxious. The ego is obtains what the id wants, however you do it in a way that is socially acceptable. Other people have wants and needs too that you may have to put before your own. This is you not being selfish. Whereas the id, you may be seen as selfish. And the superego has the same outcome as the ego, but the superego is based more on your moral values, while as the ego is based more on what people will think of you or what the consequences will be of your actions. So he developed psychoanalysis, which was a way of analyzing patients' subconsciousness through their dreams and fantasies by way of free association. Now, free association is the mental process by which one word or image may spontaneously suggest another without any apparent connection. So what this means in like normal terms is they'll show you like a picture of like an ink blot and you'll have to say the first word that comes to your mind, or they'll say a word and you'll have to say the first thing that comes to your mind, and by that psychologists can figure out what you mean and what your fears are. And this was developed to replace hypnosis, which Freud at the time thought wasn't really helping anybody. So free association is still used very widely today, but his personality theory isn't used as much. It's kind of just used as a basis for other things to stem off of. And it's not completely accepted, and it's still really controversial. His psychosexual stage theory is not seen as valid anymore. However, he is still credited to these theories and practices because parts of them are true. But people mostly see these as illogical because there's no real way to test them out. And Simi, because I know you'll ask this question, he died on September 23rd, 1939 from a drug overdose. He had too much morphine. And that's also another reason why his theories aren't very well accepted. He used cocaine and he was addicted to tobacco and morphine. So people kind of thought his theories weren't too credible. Thank you.